So, welcome everybody to our Monday night team training call. I'm Terry Sinaman along with my co-host Paul Austin. We are a couple of OGs. We are a couple of original gangsters here in this super patch business, and we're happy to have our new friend and pal Tommy Wyatt on tonight. Tommy Wyatt has been around this game for a long time. He's been a long time, and it's funny in this business. And Tommy, you can probably vouch for this, that there's some people you meet in this business and you just take to them. It's just like, okay, man, the success here is just the friendship we built. That's really cool. And so I feel that way with Tommy. And I think there's a lot of you out here that do. I know Paul feels the same way about Tommy. We've had a lot of laughs together. And this guy can, teach us all what it takes, the tenacity it takes, the stick to itiveness that it takes. That's a hard one to spit out. And being around this game for a long time and being tremendously successful in this industry. He's a recognized author, is an amazing speaker, and I'm just absolutely delighted to have Tommy on the call tonight to bring you some value, to teach us all some ways that we can improve not only our own businesses, but maybe help us all stay in the game a little better, or get in the game, as we say. Sometimes we think we're in the game, but maybe we're not in the game. So without further delay, it's my distinct pleasure to introduce my new friend and pal, Tommy Wyatt, to the call tonight. Tommy, take it away.
Thank you so much, Terry, and thanks so much for asking me to come on here and speak tonight. It's always a great honor to do that, and I love to shoot. I'm stuck up here in Connecticut, and it's nice to be able to sit on a Zoom like this. I didn't prepare any slides because I want to just look at all your faces while I'm doing it. It makes me feel like I'm in the room. We're in a great big room together, having a conversation, and really, to me, that's what this industry is all about. It's funny listening to myself being introduced and all this kind of stuff, because gosh, it seems like just yesterday that I was starting out for the first time and I didn't know anything. I have no skills. I have no reason to be able to think that I was going to be successful at owning my own business. I was a sports writer at a newspaper, and I was, I always joke around. My wife hates this, but I've told the story a trillion times already over my career, so I just keep telling it because it is what it is. That I graduated 364th out of 364 students, class of '82, Newtown High School. I went to college for 6 years, and I'm still a freshman. So there's my resume. Sounds like the guy you'd want to hire to run your company, isn't it?
You might get a second interview.
That's exactly it. But you know what I am? I've always been this. I've been somebody who loves people, who wants an exceptional life. I want to have a great life. I just hate being told what to do, and I hate working by other people's rules. And so, where is there a place for a guy like me? Well, there is this thing called network marketing that I didn't even know was a thing. And a friend of mine invited me to go to see it. And when I saw it, I immediately knew, wow, you mean to tell me that I can just join and I'm in? I don't need to study anything. I don't need to, go away to college for 4 years. I don't need to have any special skills or talents. You're going to tell me what to do. And there are people that are already doing it, that are successful, that are going to show me how they did it. I'm in. Let's go. It sounds simple enough, right? So that's exactly how it was. I got involved in network marketing in 1998, and I knew that I didn't know how to do it. I knew that. I didn't have an ego. I didn't know how to do it. Show me what to do. I found the people that had what I wanted, and I said, show me how to get it. And I did what they said. And that was it. And over time, here's what happens. You meet all kinds of people in this industry, and some of them, as you said, Terry, some of them you relate to and you take a shining to, some of them not so much. But the good thing is, even the people you meet that you don't like, or the people that you don't think are honest or credible, you learn from them too. You learn from every person you meet. and you get to take the good and you need to dismiss the bad. And it's so easy to do over time. And really it's learn your craft. I think it's always funny that we talk about we're having a training, we're having another training. Network marketing training is funny to me a little bit because here's what we do. We share these products that every one of us already loves. We tell other people that we love them, all right? And we show them how to get it if they want to try it. And if they want to get in the business, we show them how to upgrade and get in the business. And that's it. Training's over. That's all we do. But yet it's a multi-million-dollar industry to train people how to do it. And you need to come to my course and it's a weekend seminar and da-da-da-da. Well, I mean, the truth is that like everything, you just need to be better at your craft. You need to learn. It's personal development is what it is. And it's all inside your own head. This whole business is 100% about the story we tell ourselves. That's what it's about. You get to create your own story. I learned a long time ago that we have this $1 trillion computer inside of our brain. It's our brain. You know, it is the biggest computer in the world, and it does the most amazing things, and it'll do whatever you ask of it. And we get to think whatever we want to think. We have control over one thing. There's only one thing we control in this whole world, one thing, and it's what we think. It's the only thing we control. And yet some people just dismiss that and don't use that power. That is the ultimate power that you have, understanding that you control what you think. And if you know you control what you think, nothing can bother you. So, I mean, it sounds kind of silly for me to say, you know, I'm just an I don't care, nothing bothers me kind of guy, but it's true. And nothing bothers me because I decided that nothing's going to bother me. If something's bothering me, I just change the story. You know, I tell myself a different story, and we'll get into that a little bit more. I want to start with your mindset and learning the craft and the personal development. And I mean, we can talk about I've read probably 1,000 books on personal development, not necessarily always about network marketing, but you know what? Successful people are all about the same. Their stories, when you hear the stories of rags to riches and all these success, they're so similar. The stories are almost all the same. And we need to take some clues for that. So my goal is always to make it fun. You know, my whole mantra is if it's not fun, I don't want to do it. I don't like doing things that I don't like doing. It's kind of simple. That's why I haven't had a job in 25 years. When I joined network marketing, I went to some training and some water walking guru, I can't even remember who he was, said, why go on vacation when you can live on vacation? And I was like, ooh, that's good. I'm writing that down. And I kind of have lived that way. Why go on vacation when you can live on vacation? And my goal, we're going to talk about goal setting right now. My goal that I set 25 years ago is to live my entire life on vacation. And that's the story I created for myself. That's the goal I created myself. And it's exactly what my life is like. Ask anybody who knows me. How come you're always so happy, Tommy? Well, why wouldn't I be happy? I'm on vacation. Can you do something on Monday? Yeah, I can do something on Monday. Monday is the same as Saturday to me. I mean, it's a 7-day weekend for me every week. It's a mindset. Any one of us can have that mindset. I mean, if you have a job, that's okay. You can go to your job, and you know what? We have a vehicle here where if we're so inclined, we can work to get out of our job if we don't like going to our job. We have a vehicle here that can replace your full-time income. I don't care how much your full-time income is. We have a vehicle that you can replace it if you want to. So let's talk about goals. You know, and to me, it's a little bit arrogant to talk about goals because I don't know how many people are on here. There's 62 people on the number on my screen here, and there's 62 different goals. My goal is not the same as your goal. We all have different ones, and your goal is personal to you, and your goal is yours. And I would never try to make you stretch it.
We got 50. We got 50 watching the live too, Tom. Just so you know,
Ah, sweet.
In the team pitch, so there's 120, 110, 115 people on right now.
Not to mention the million people that are going to watch the replay. So look at all these people that their lives are being
100%.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, so the thing is, you just need to determine what your goal is. All right. My goal is not important to you. Your goal is important to you. And in my opinion, in this business, there's probably 4 different levels of goals. I would think there's 4 different levels of goals here because, again, we're all different. Maybe goal number 1 is somebody who just wants to join because they want to get a discount on the products and they want to make enough money to pay for their products. So it's a push. And that's a great goal. That's a great goal. And I have great news for all of you who that's your goal. You don't even need to waste your time listening to me because you don't need to be here. You can just do that. Just by sharing it casually when you see your family or your friends, you will achieve that goal. I promise. You don't need to go on training Zooms ever again if that's your goal. So congratulations. You've been given permission to achieve your goal in 2024. People in the number 2 category are probably, I would say, maybe people that want to make an extra $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month extra is a life changer for people. It's an exceptional goal, and great news. You can get to that goal in this business. Shoot, by getting to the level of director, you can make an extra $1,000 a month as director. Piece of cake. Okay. Then there's people that maybe want to make an extra $5,000 a month. And you know what? For some people, that's a full-time income. $5,000 a month. That's a lot of money. How do you get to $5,000 a month? Absolutely attainable in this business. And if you really want to do it, if you have to do it super part-time, you can do it in a couple of years. If you're willing to put maybe 20 hours a week in, you can do it in 1. Maybe even less. So we can do it this year. And then number 4 are the people that want to make a 6-figure income or higher, the people that want to make millions. You know, when I first got into network marketing, I want to be a millionaire. I don't care about that anymore. I don't need to make $1 million a year. Frankly, I learned along the way that that's more money than I can spend. I don't need $1 million a year. And frankly, while I wouldn't mind a business that pays me $1 million a year, I'm not willing to pay the price right now at my age and where I am in my life. I'm not willing to pay the price to be able to get a business that pays me $1 million a year. Now, I'm not saying it won't happen, because it can just happen while we're doing the things that we do. You know, somebody comes into your business and boom, it blows up and so on and so forth. But you need to decide which of those 4 goals, and maybe your goal is different than any of those 4 things I said, but I think I pretty much covered all the ranges there. Determine where you are in there, and depending on which your goal is, you just have to do different things. Well, you know, let me rephrase it. You don't have to do different things. You just have to do the same little things. You just have to do it more. Do it more often. Gang, I think where people get bogged down the most, there's that term called paralysis by analysis. You know, somebody does, Jay Dallowall does a Zoom and he makes an announcement and it's all of a sudden gridlock. I can't do anything. What does that mean? Oh, what is this going to be? What's going to happen? Compliance. What is it? You know what? When people call me up and say, what do you think of that compliance thing? I say, I don't think anything of it. I just don't worry about it. I'm not gonna make any claims. Don't make claims. Say what it says on the package. I mean, I know there's different personality types, and I'm one of those easygoing, free-flowing people, and maybe there's people that are analytical. I know there are. And some people just need to have all the information. I'm telling you that if you need it personally, that's fine, but you don't need all that information to be successful in this business. Everything you need to know is, you can look it up on your website. I mean, everything is there. I mean, there's nothing. I don't know it. I don't know anything. My hard drive does not have the answers. People in my organization are all laughing their butts off right now because they know when they call me and ask me a question, they never know the answer. I don't need to know the answer. I just have to know where to be able to find the answer, right? Does that make sense? So what I would like you to kind of consider is, if you have the ability to write things down right now, go ahead and write them down. And if you can't, that's okay. Maybe you can watch the recording and write some things down, because I just want to do a little bit of self-reflection with everybody. And the first thing I'd like you to ask you is, what is your goal for Super Patch? What is your goal? Like, what do you want out of this? If you could wave the magic wand and say, here's what I want. By the end of 2024, here's where I want to be in Super Patch. By the end of 2025, here's where I want to be. And by the end of 2026, here's where I want to be. Just go 3 years out. Okay. But you need to, here's the thing. So many of us just kind of go through the motions and we say, oh, I know what my goal is. My goal is to make some extra money. And my goal is to help people, blah, blah. It's okay to say that, but you really have to write down and identify your goals. And if you don't, it's kind of like going bowling with no pins. It's kind of like throwing darts at a wall. I mean, you can do it. What's the point? You need to identify, you have to have a target. You need to know what you're moving towards. It's just everybody knows that. We joked around about the NFL football playoffs that are going on right now. And the goals are all the same. When people start the season, the goal is they want to win the Super Bowl. Only one team's going to do it. And by the way, it's interesting. We can reflect that real quickly on what I just was talking about. Everybody has a different goal personally on that football team, and they have to do different things depending on what their goal is. For example, the quarterback of the football team, he has to do different things than the third string quarterback who's probably not going to get in the game. He practices different. He does things different. So we will do those things too. If you're going to be the $1 million earner in this, or the $100,000 a year earner in this, you're going to have to prepare yourself like the starting quarterback of the football team, and you're going to have to do a little bit more and do your thing. But I kind of, I don't want to get like sappy on you or anything, but my uncle just passed away at Christmas time, and he was my only uncle. I only had one ever. And he was 72. It's a miracle he lived to be 72 years old. I think he smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day and probably drank a case of beer a day since I was born. I mean, he's a living miracle all these years that he made it 72. Anyhow, God bless him. But when people pass away and when there's funerals, they always just affect me in a way that, I don't get crazy sad and broken up about it. Going back to that thing I said about this computer in your head that you get to tell it your story. I choose not to be super sad and distraught. I choose to instead reflect on good times, and what it makes me do is it makes me think about mortality and frankly, what do we do with the time we have here? Our time is short. Our time is short, and when you're super young, when you're in your teens or 20s, you don't worry about it. You think you're going to live forever. And this year I'm coming up. I'll be 60 this summer. It's my 60th birthday, and I can't believe it. Like I can't believe it. I'm going to be 60 years old. Where did those years go? Where did they go? Both. I mean, it just goes faster and faster. So you need to write down, what do you want from Super Patch? Okay. And the next thing I want you to write down is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? What's holding you back? That's another question. Write that down. What is holding me back? Because, all right, let me ask you another profound question. What would you do in your Super Patch business if you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do tomorrow? What if you wrote down your goals for Super Patch and you knew you couldn't fail? What would you do that's different than what you're doing now? Probably every one of you can tell me that it would be something different than what you're doing right now, right? So then why aren't you doing it? What holds you back? It's a rhetorical question because we all know the answer. It's fear. You're afraid of something. We're afraid of something. The only reason you don't have everything you want in this world is because you're afraid of something. And it's probably an irrational fear, because most fear is irrational. I'll tell you a story about, again, I've been doing a lot of reflecting on family and things because of my uncle's funeral. And I was thinking about my little brother, Jeff. He's 3 years younger than me. And when we were kids, my parents had my aunt and uncle over, and we were little, and they were talking. I remember them talking about something in the attic. There was something going on in the attic, and it was Maybe it had something to do with, maybe there was I don't remember exactly what the conversation was because I was just a kid, but my little brother heard something, and he was maybe 3 years old. I'm guessing around there. And so my little brother developed an intense fear of the attic. He didn't even know what an attic was. And I didn't know what an attic was. But he wasn't afraid of an actual attic. It was like the attic is like a monster. The attic is going to come and get me. So my little brother was afraid of the attic his whole childhood. The attic. I'm afraid of the attic. Completely irrational. We laugh about it still to this very day. He was afraid of the attic. Now I'm going to get real personal with you. It's on recording. I can't believe I'm going to do this. All right. So when I was a very little kid, again, talking about my uncle, because I'm going to be telling his eulogy on Saturday this week. When I was little and learning to be potty trained, he told me, my uncle, God bless him, make sure you don't fall in. He just said it joking around, like you would say to a kid to try to make him laugh. Make sure you don't fall in. Well, that scared the daylights out of me. I was afraid I was going to fall in the toilet and be swirled around and gone forever. So here's what I did. If I had to go to the bathroom, number two, if no one was around, I'd sneak somewhere off in the house and I'd go right there. I'd pull out a couch, go behind the couch, slide the couch back. All right? Because I was afraid that I was going to fall on the toilet and that would be the end of me. Irrational fear. No one's ever done that to the best of my knowledge. Maybe a goldfish. I've never known a human to fall in the toilet and disappear. So the fear was completely irrational. But yet it drove my life every single day. And my parents were beside themselves. My father, I remember him being furious because here's what happened next. First of all, I mean, as you can imagine, my parents wouldn't believe that a kid would pull out a couch, go to the bathroom behind it, and push the couch back, right? But then worse, I knew nobody saw me do it, so I denied it. It wasn't me. And I couldn't understand how they knew that it was me, because I knew nobody saw me. So I used to say, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. And I'd cry and I'd pitch a fit and I'd put up an argument. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. And then here's what happened. My parents told me the story of the boy who cried wolf. Everybody remember that story? They told me the story of the boy who cried wolf. And it's a fable about the little boy who said, the wolf's coming to get me, the wolf's coming to get me. And he just made it all up. And then the townspeople ran to go save him, but he was lying. And then the next time he said, the wolf's coming to get me, the wolf's coming to get me. And the townspeople all came again, but he was lying. And after a couple of times, all of a sudden the wolf really was coming to get him. And he yelled, the wolf, the wolf. And nobody believed him. And nobody came, and the wolf got him. My parents told me that story thinking that that was going to stop me from lying about pooping behind the couch. Parenting is hard. Here's what that story really did. I developed an insane fear of wolves, and I started having recurring nightmares every single night about being eaten by wolves. My whole childhood. Horrible, horrible. I'd wake up screaming and crying. So thank you, Mom and Dad. That was awesome. I know you didn't mean to do it. But the reason I'm telling you this story, gang, is because I was a child and I didn't know better, but the fears that I had were insane fears, and they were completely irrational and silly. In this business, getting back to business, we're worried about what other people are going to think of us, aren't we? The reason you're not sharing this with people is you're afraid they're not going to like what I mean. It's important to write down what it is that's making you afraid to get where you need to go, because it really isn't that hard. And if you are afraid, here's what I want to ask you. What did you think when the person who introduced you to Super Patch introduced it to you? How did they introduce it to you? What do you think of them for doing it? If you're on this Zoom, you're grateful that they did it. They probably, if they didn't save your life, they certainly changed your life. They certainly made a positive impact on your life. You are eternally grateful, and you can almost not even express your gratitude, many of you, right? Wouldn't you love other people to think of you like that? I mean, that's probably more like the real story. You know, the stories we tell ourselves are what our reality is. It's our reality. And I mean, shoot, we know how to go out and build this business. You have conversations with people. You don't need to go on the internet and spam people. You don't need to, say, "Oh, who here has pain?" You don't need to be that way. You can just have real conversations with people. And when you have conversations with people, you've all heard this old training thing. Maybe you haven't. The word form, FORM. That's what everybody talks about. Family, occupation, recreation, and money. I can promise you that if you have a real conversation with somebody, they're going to open the door for you to introduce them to Super Patch. And you're not supposed to just like wait there to pounce on them. That's not what you really want to be about. You want to be a real person. Don't be a freak. Don't be crazed. Be real. Be yourself. Be the person they know already. And my favorite line that I always use is, first of all, you want to always recognize that somebody's interest, like maybe I'll wear the patches where somebody can see them, and somebody might say, "Hey, what's that?" I understand that it's polite interest. They're not asking me for a dissertation about everything I know about Super Patch. They're just curious, and it's just polite interest. And you have to be able to recognize the difference between polite interest and real interest. If somebody says to me, which, gosh, it happens, shoot, at my age, everybody in my age group is talking to me about something hurts. Everybody, it hurts. Their back hurts, especially this time of year when it's cold. It's always something. Somebody's rambling on to me about something hurts. So I don't say, "Hey, I've got Super Patch here." You know what? Here's what I say to almost everybody. I say, "Are you just blowing off steam, or is that a problem you really wish you could solve?" And boom, I have now just cut to the chase. Was it polite interest, or was it just somebody just blowing off steam? And usually that's a question that you don't really get from people, is it? It's kind of a jarring question. Are you just blowing off steam, or is that a problem you really wish you could solve? Well, shoot. My answer to that probably be why. Yeah, I would love to solve it. Why? Why do you ask? Well, geez, the reason I ask is because, and then I can tell my story in 15 seconds. I had back pain, and a friend of mine shared this thing with me. It sounded completely unbelievable, but I gave it a try, and my back pain went away. Maybe you'd like to give it a try. I actually market for the company now. The company actually pays me to share this with people now. Would you like to give it a try, risk-free? I might even have some in my car. Or it's just something like that. Again, if you just do those things and just go out and share, if you're somebody, I know we're up on time right now. I did it again. I just ramble on and on. I could talk to you for hours. Maybe one of these days I will. Go back and check your level of commitment to this. What is your goal level? What do you want to have happen in this thing? If you really want to if you want to make $1,000 a month, especially if you want to make more than $1,000 a month in this business, the most important thing for you probably is to just plug into the system here. Plug in, being plugged in. You're plugged in. I'm preaching to the choir. You're plugged in right now. It's what you do. This Monday night training with Terry and Paul and Lori. This is the best this company has to offer. This training is it's just the best there is. And you're here, you're plugged in, you're real. You get to talk to real people about real things. If you have real concerns, you can get real answers. Nobody's blowing smoke on you. You're getting it here, and so you're plugged in. So congratulations on that part. But be around the fire. Stay around the fire. Go to things when you can. Get on Zooms when you can. Don't skip your child's birthday party for the Zoom of a lifetime that's going to change your life forever. You have to be on this. It is critical. Baloney. Watch the recording tomorrow and go to your kid's birthday party. prioritize things. Do what's important to you. Do what makes you feel good, and just share this and be a real person. People will thank you for it. People, the people that laughed. There were people that laughed at me when I first started in network marketing, and they thought my goals were stupid. Guess what? All those people do now. I don't laugh anymore. They wish they were me. Uh, Not to sound egotistical, but you know what they really say? Oh, you got lucky. Yeah, okay. I got lucky. Boy, oh boy. I wish I could. I wish I could have taken you for that whole lucky ride. It wasn't all ice cream and candy, trust me. But it's a business like anything, gang. And if you treat it like a business, it'll pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it'll pay you like a hobby. But that's okay. It's an awesome hobby. And it's fun to get paid for your hobbies. But anyway, decide what you want, get plugged in, and just write down for yourself what you want for 2024. I'll close with that. I love New Year is my favorite time because it's all about being a better person, being better this year than you were last year, being better tomorrow than you were today, being better next week than you were last week. Just keep getting a little bit better. And you know what? Enjoy what's important to you, gang. Enjoy your family, enjoy your friends, enjoy good conversations with good people, and share the patches with them.
Wow. Guys, did I tell you this guy's awesome? Like, talk about, being who you are. That's the one thing that those of us that have had the awesome pleasure of spending a little bit of time with Tommy and getting to know him. This guy's a real deal, man. And thank you, Tommy, for your comment about this training. I mean, Paul and I from day one have done this training for 7.5, the 8 years this June. And we're doing it because we feel we learn every week too, and we want to bring value to the field, and we want this to be a safe place for people to come. We don't want them to feel we record this all the time. Excuse me. It's live in our Team Pagination group. It's available for everybody. And like you said, go to your kid's birthday party, go to the Saturday night party, go to the Monday night, whatever it is that you got. We got the training here. It's always here. Do we appreciate you showing up live? 100% we do. Those that we try to bring, quality speakers like Tommy to this call, we appreciate you showing up, but we understand if you don't. That's why we have technology to record it, because we know lives get busy and none of us are all defined by Super Patch. We're not defined by it. It's what we do. It's what we do because we love it. We do it because we like to help people. And so, great points, Tommy. Always such a pleasure to have you on. And I told you he's funny. And irrational fear, I think we've all had that. And I hope you're over yours, because I want to make sure that, it's okay to invite you to the lodge or something. I don't want you crapping behind my couch or whatever. So
Well, you'll know it's me now. I spilled the beans.
Yeah, there's no giveaways now. Geez, Tommy, I thought you were over that. Don't be afraid. I'll walk you to the outhouse.
There's no wolves up there, is there?
There's wolves up there, absolutely. So, but honestly, like you said, Jen Moyer, who's a dear friend of mine, dear friend of a lot of people on here, who's been in this game with me for a long time, and she's always said, if we're not having fun, we're not doing it right. And part of the battle is we're too afraid to have fun. And I think that part of helping people is having fun with it, and finding the joy that we can find in that by friendships we create. And I'm blessed to be able to call Tommy Wyatt my friend. And I think Paul Austin feels the same way. I know there's lots of people that are in my circle that feel the same way. And I look forward to spending more time with Tommy and people like Tommy. So, Paul, what do you got to say to close her off?
Yeah, no, great job, Tommy. And that's just as real as it gets, guys. I'm the same way. I don't care. I'll show that my stomach's too large. I need to lose weight. I'll just post how I feel. I'll have, whatever. It's the best way to do it. You don't want to be fake. You don't want to whatever. He's right. You missed the meeting. Just go and figure it out. Go back, take the time you would have taken to go and do it, but go and do what is most important, family and all that. If you don't do that, you'll burn out. and you'll say this doesn't work and I'm not doing this, and then you're done. So the only way you can fail is by saying I'm out, I quit, and we all know that. So we're all troopers.
Paul,
We're
you're coming
continuing on.
along. Paul, you're coming along because I thought there was a filter on your video today.
Oh, no, just hey, I've committed. I'm getting older. The 5-0's coming, so just like Tommy said, boom, where did the time go, right? So I know my kids need me and all that, so I got to take care of myself too. So
Yeah.
we just got to keep doing this, get those patches out to people, and take advice like Tommy has to heart and go and apply it. Don't just talk about it. So
Yeah. And create some goals for yourself, whatever they are. You can attain them. You can get there. Set those goals, whatever they are for you, and then go after it and get them. So on behalf of everybody, Tommy here tonight, on behalf of Paul and myself, and everybody on this call, I'd like to thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. You're very inspiring. You're very real. You're honest. And you're a hell of a lot of fun. And I like that. And I think there's lots of people on here that like that as well. So thank you all for being on the call tonight. Appreciate everybody's attendance. The recording will be up very shortly. It's also live in our Team Patch Nation page as well. Those that can make it to Dallas, see you there. But next week we'll bring a new speaker. We'll bring a new gathering. Let's call it the meeting place. We don't have to call it a training. Let's get together and chat and talk and bring value to each other's lives and help undergird each other and share this amazing technology that we're all blessed to share. So thanks again, Tommy. Good night, everybody, and God bless.
Thanks for having me.
night all. Thanks,
Night
Tommy.
all.
Good night.
Thanks, Tommy.
Lance, goodbye, good night.
Thanks for
Thanks,
being on,
Tommy.
Mickey, so far away.
Well, one in the morning, it's okay. 2 in the morning, it was sometimes a little bit difficult, but 1 in the morning, it's okay.
Good. Glad to see you here. Good night, everyone.
Happy to be always with you.